You know, in life, you're going to encounter people who make you feel invisible. You'll have those moments when you put yourself out there, give them your time, your attention, maybe even a little piece of your soul, and they turn away. They don't acknowledge it. They don't see it. And I'm here to tell you that when that happens, it's not a reflection of you, but it's a revelation about them. Pain is a force in our lives that we rarely welcome, but often cannot avoid. It's the rough, unfiltered truth of life that confronts us, especially in those moments when we feel overlooked, undervalued, or outright ignored by others. While it's tempting to see pain as something purely negative, something to be avoided at all costs, there is a powerful lesson embedded within it. When someone ignores us, that hurt we feel can be one of life's most profound teachers. It has a way of showing us truths we might have missed otherwise, truths about ourselves, about others, and about the world we live in. When someone we care about dismisses us or overlooks our efforts, it stings because in those moments we feel like we don't matter. Our worth is brought into question, not just by others, but also by ourselves. We ask, why wasn't I seen? Why wasn't I valued? That pain digs deep into our insecurities and doubts, pulling out questions that can shake our confidence. But here's where pain begins to do its work as a teacher. Instead of running from it or trying to numb it, we can lean into that discomfort. And in doing so, we often uncover truths about our own self-worth. Pain has a way of forcing us to confront parts of ourselves that we might rather ignore. When someone ignores us, it's a chance to question where we're placing our sense of value. Are we relying on others to validate us? Are we depending on external recognition to feel good about who we are? Pain can push us to redefine where our true worth lies, helping us realize that it shouldn't rest solely in the hands of others. Instead, our value comes from within, something that pain, with its unrelenting honesty, won't let us forget. But pain doesn't stop there. It teaches us not only about ourselves, but also about the people around us. When we are hurt by someone's lack of acknowledgement, it can be a signal of their priorities, their focus, or even their limitations. Pain opens our eyes to who people really are and what they truly value. Sometimes we see that the person ignoring us might not have the capacity to appreciate us, or maybe dealing with their own struggles, biases, or distractions. Other times it reveals to us that this person simply doesn't align with what we need or deserve in our lives. Pain becomes a filter, showing us who genuinely values us and who doesn't. And while that can be a harsh realization, it's an essential lesson for building stronger, more supportive relationships. There's also a third layer to this teaching, one that might take a little longer to realize, but is equally transformative. Pain teaches resilience. Each time we are hurt by someone's disregard, we're given an opportunity to build a thicker skin, to become stronger and more self-reliant. Ignoring that pain or pretending it doesn't matter can make us feel numb, but embracing it and learning from it gives us power. It's a reminder that while we can't control others' actions or attitudes toward us, we can control our responses. Pain becomes an internal guide, reminding us of the strength we already possess and encouraging us to rise above the need for validation from those who don't see our value. Pain also teaches empathy. When we understand what it feels like to be ignored, to feel insignificant or invisible, it becomes a powerful source of compassion for others who may be experiencing the same. This empathy allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, seeing their pain and offering support where we might otherwise have overlooked it. Pain in this way broadens our understanding of humanity. It humbles us, helping us see that everyone in some way has felt the sting of rejection or disregard. This perspective can deepen our relationships, making us more mindful of how we treat others, aware of the small but meaningful ways we can make others feel valued and seen. In a strange but undeniable way, pain also shows us our desires, our ambitions, and our deepest values. When we feel hurt because we're overlooked, it forces us to ask, what am I truly seeking here? Why does their recognition matter so much to me? These questions reveal what we hold close to our hearts, and sometimes they show us that we're searching for fulfillment in places that aren't aligned with our true values. Pain becomes a spotlight on what we need to address within ourselves, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of what genuinely matters in our lives. Pain is a patient teacher, one that will continue to show up until its lessons are learned. If we ignore it, suppress it, or try to evade it, it has a way of resurfacing again and again, each time a little louder, a little more insistent. When someone ignores us, it feels like rejection. That cold silence can weigh heavy on the heart, making us question our value, our place, and even our path. But if we look closer, we may see that this is more than a door closing. It's actually a form of redirection. In life, moments of being overlooked, disregarded, or passed by are often signals urging us to rethink, realign, or even reroute our energy. It's as if life itself is saying, not here, not now, not like this. Redirection often disguises itself as rejection. We might feel dismissed or unseen in a relationship, a friendship or a career path. And it can be tempting to view this as failure or as something inherently wrong with us. But what if that person ignoring us or that opportunity slipping away is actually life's way of nudging us towards something that's better suited for us? There's wisdom in the way life works, sometimes subtle, sometimes abrupt, but often leading us where we're truly meant to go. It's easy to focus on the sting of being overlooked, but when we shift our perspective to see it as a redirection, we can start to see it as a part of a larger journey rather than an endpoint. Sometimes the people who ignore us are unknowingly pointing us away from places where we don't belong. Their lack of attention or support may feel personal, but it's really a reflection of a misalignment. In truth, not everyone is meant to see our light, and not every space is designed to nurture our growth. Life has a way of keeping us out of places that would limit or stifle us, even if we don't recognize it right away. Think of the moments when we're yearning for someone's attention or approval, but they remain indifferent. That apathy can be life's way of saving us from investing our energy where it would be wasted. The discomfort of redirection is sometimes the only way to stop us from moving down a path that would ultimately lead to dissatisfaction or even heartbreak. Redirection also challenges our sense of control. We often set plans, make decisions, and determine what we think we want from people or situations. But when we're ignored or brushed aside, it can shatter those plans and leave us feeling lost. What's really happening, though, is that life is giving us a reminder that we're not always in control of what's meant for us. By redirecting us, it asks us to trust that something better is ahead, even if we can't see it yet. Redirection can feel frustrating, especially when it disrupts the plans we thought we wanted, but it can also be liberating. It's life's way of reminding us that there are things we don't yet know, and that often what we're seeking isn't where we think it is. Moments of redirection, however uncomfortable, are rich with the opportunity for self-reflection. When we're ignored, it encourages us to ask, why am I seeking validation here? What am I truly hoping to gain from this? In answering these questions, we uncover motivations that may surprise us. Perhaps we're looking for validation in a place that can't give it, or we're hoping to be seen by someone who isn't capable of truly seeing us. This redirection becomes a mirror, showing us where we may be relying on others to fulfill needs that we can nurture within ourselves. It gives us a chance to recalibrate, to find new directions that align more closely with who we are and what we genuinely want. Redirection can be subtle, a small nudge that we only notice after reflection, or it can be a powerful push that forces us to turn away from something altogether. When someone ignores us, they are effectively telling us, look elsewhere. While it may feel hurtful, this message can become a guiding force if we allow it to be. When we're not welcomed in one place, it frees us to explore others, to seek environments, people, or paths that offer the support and acknowledgement we deserve. There's also an element of timing and redirection. Sometimes it's not that we're on the wrong path, but simply that the timing isn't right. Ignored plans or relationships can often be life's way of putting things on pause, giving us the space to develop ourselves or pursue other paths before returning to what is truly meant for us. Redirection teaches patience, asking us to surrender our need for immediate gratification in exchange for something more enduring and substantial. When we feel dismissed, we're encouraged to keep growing, to trust that when the time is right, the right connections and opportunities will present themselves. Redirection also holds a surprising sense of protection. When someone ignores us, it may prevent us from getting too close to people or places that aren't aligned with our growth. Often we only see what we want on the surface, while life sees the bigger picture. The person who doesn't reciprocate your attention may be carrying their own issues that would weigh you down. The job you didn't get might have left you unfulfilled. In these cases, being ignored or overlooked saves us from detours that would hinder our progress or even harm us in the long run. Redirection is a profound teacher, one that can shift our entire understanding of purpose. Each time we're nudged away from a path or denied entry into a space we thought we wanted, we're given a lesson in resilience and adaptability. Redirection encourages us to remain open to new possibilities and to trust that while life may not be taking us where we planned, it's leading us somewhere significant. In a world that constantly demands our attention, it's easy to place our worth in the hands of others. We want validation and we look outward for it, hoping that someone else will see our value and reflect it back to us. But true self-worth isn't found in how others perceive us, it's found within. When we learn to value ourselves, we are no longer dependent on external validation to feel complete. It's an internal journey, one that asks us to look past the noise of expectations and judgments and to see ourselves with clarity and appreciation. Valuing yourself begins with self-recognition. It's about acknowledging who you are and what you bring to the table, regardless of whether others recognize it. In life, there will be people who overlook your talents, your kindness, or your hard work. Sometimes we may even find ourselves surrounded by those who minimize or dismiss what we have to offer. If we rely on them for validation, we become like leaves in the wind, constantly swayed by their opinions and reactions. But when we recognize our own worth, we become grounded. We become rooted in a sense of self that is unshaken by others' opinions. Self-value is also about understanding and respecting your own boundaries. When we don't value ourselves, we're more likely to allow people to treat us poorly, to disregard our feelings, or to take advantage of our kindness. But when we hold ourselves in high regard, we set clear boundaries that protect our emotional and mental well-being. These boundaries are not walls to shut people out, but guidelines that define how we expect to be treated. Valuing yourself means not tolerating disrespect or mistreatment. It means walking away from situations or people who don't align with the respect and dignity you deserve. One of the most powerful aspects of self-value is that it shifts how you see rejection or disregard from others.
When someone ignores you or fails to acknowledge your worth, it doesn't pierce as deeply when you already know your own value. You begin to understand that their behavior is a reflection of them, not a judgment on you. Valuing yourself helps you see that your worth isn't diminished by others' inability to appreciate it. You learn to keep your head held high, to stay true to yourself, and to keep moving forward, even when others don't recognize the journey you're on. Self-worth also inspires self-care. When we truly value ourselves, we start to prioritize our own needs, health, and happiness. We recognize that we deserve kindness, rest, and growth just as much as anyone else. This self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. It fuels us, revitalizes us, and allows us to give to others from a place of abundance rather than depletion. Valuing yourself means listening to your body, mind, and spirit and honoring what they need. It's about setting aside time for yourself, investing in your growth, and nurturing your dreams. Self-care becomes an act of respect toward yourself, a reminder that you are worthy of time and effort. Additionally, valuing yourself reshapes your goals and aspirations. When you see yourself as worthy, you're more likely to pursue goals that reflect your true desires, rather than goals that simply please others or fit into societal expectations. Self-value gives you the courage to dream big, to reach for what you want, and to let go of the fear of judgment. It encourages you to take risks, knowing that your worth isn't dependent on the outcome, but on the courage it took to try. This self-assurance propels you forward, making you more resilient to setbacks and more focused on what truly matters to you. When you value yourself, you also develop a stronger sense of integrity. You begin to make decisions based on your values and principles rather than external pressures. Valuing yourself means standing firm in who you are, even if it means standing alone. You stop compromising your beliefs to fit in or gain approval because you no longer need others to validate your choices. Integrity becomes your guide, helping you navigate life with a sense of purpose and direction that isn't easily swayed by others' opinions. Self-value has a ripple effect on every relationship in your life. When you hold yourself in high regard, others start to see you in that light as well. People are drawn to those who respect themselves because it signals confidence, strength, and dignity. Your self-value sets the standard for how others treat you. When you honor your worth, you attract people who honor it too, those who appreciate and uplift you, who understand the value you bring to their lives. It also gives you the courage to step away from relationships that don't serve you, knowing that you deserve connections that are built on mutual respect and appreciation. Valuing yourself is not about arrogance or self-importance, it's about embracing your inherent worth. Every person has unique qualities, strengths, and experiences that make them valuable. Recognizing this within yourself is an act of humility and self-compassion. It means understanding that you, like everyone else, have a right to take up space, to be heard, and to pursue a fulfilling life. Self-value is about honoring your existence, not because you're better than others, but because you are equally worthy. Valuing yourself fosters resilience. Life is full of challenges, and not everyone will see your potential or believe in your dreams. But when you value yourself, you find the strength to keep going, even in the face of adversity. Self-value is a source of inner strength that fuels perseverance. It reminds you that no matter what happens externally, your worth remains constant. In life, the people we surround ourselves with can make a profound difference in our happiness, success, and sense of self-worth. Some people inspire us, motivate us, and make us feel seen, while others can drain our energy, pull us down, or make us question our worth. It's crucial to recognize who belongs in each category and to focus our attention, our time, and our energy on those who genuinely uplift us. Focusing on those who lift you is about choosing to invest in relationships that empower and inspire you to be the best version of yourself. The people who lift you are those who truly believe in you. They see your potential, even on days when you struggle to see it yourself. These are the people who cheer you on in your victories and stand by you in your struggles. They don't need to compete with you, they celebrate your successes as if they were their own, because they understand that supporting one another only makes each of you stronger. This kind of encouragement is invaluable. When you are surrounded by people who uplift you, they provide a safe space for you to dream big, to take risks, and to believe in yourself. One of the most important aspects of focusing on people who lift you is that it teaches you the importance of reciprocity in relationships. Supportive relationships are not one-sided, they are a mutual exchange of energy, encouragement, and understanding. When you invest in people who uplift you, you're also naturally inclined to do the same for them. This creates a healthy dynamic where both individuals are strengthened and inspired. It's a give and take that fuels personal growth on both sides, creating a bond that's rooted in mutual respect and genuine care. When we focus on those who lift us, we also learn more about the type of person we want to be. We begin to see that positivity, kindness, and encouragement aren't just qualities to be appreciated in others, they're traits we can cultivate within ourselves. By surrounding ourselves with people who embody these qualities, we naturally become more attuned to the power of lifting others. The relationships that lift us up help shape our own character, encouraging us to become sources of light and strength for others as well. Focusing on uplifting people has a significant impact on our mindset and emotional well-being. Positive people bring positive energy. They challenge us to look at situations from different perspectives and help us navigate difficulties with resilience and optimism. They don't shy away from the tough moments, but instead guide us through them with compassion and understanding. Their presence in our lives reminds us that we're never truly alone in our struggles. When times get hard, having people who lift you becomes a source of comfort and strength that cannot be overstated. Their support can be a powerful antidote to self-doubt and despair, helping you bounce back faster and with greater resilience. Uplifting relationships can also lead to increased self-confidence and self-belief. When you're surrounded by people who see your strengths, who encourage you to pursue your passions, and who remind you of your worth, you begin to internalize those beliefs. Their faith in you becomes a mirror, reflecting back all the qualities you might have overlooked in yourself. Focusing on those who lift you can help you break free from self-limiting beliefs, allowing you to grow and achieve things you might never have thought possible. These relationships serve as a foundation for a stronger, more confident self-image. There's also a tremendous sense of peace and security that comes with surrounding yourself with people who uplift you. In a world full of competition, judgment, and comparison, these individuals provide a sanctuary where you can be your authentic self. You don't have to pretend, you don't have to prove yourself constantly, and you don't have to wear a mask. Being around people who lift you means being in a space where you feel valued and accepted as you are. This sense of security is essential for personal growth because it allows you to explore and expand without fear of judgment or rejection. When you feel safe, you're more likely to take risks, pursue passions, and step out of your comfort zone, knowing that you'll have a solid support system to lean on if needed. In focusing on uplifting people, we're also making a choice about what we allow into our lives. Negative, draining relationships can keep us stuck in cycles of self-doubt, resentment, and frustration. They take more than they give, and over time they can diminish our energy and joy. On the other hand, by focusing on those who lift us, we set a standard for the kind of energy we want to welcome into our lives. We choose to be around people who inspire, motivate, and energize us. This choice has a powerful impact on our mental and emotional state, as well as our overall outlook on life. It's also worth noting that focusing on people who lift you doesn't mean excluding everyone else or cutting people off at the first sign of negativity. It means being mindful of where you invest most of your energy. There will always be people who bring challenges or who go through struggles of their own, and part of being supportive is standing by those who need us. But focusing on those who lift you means prioritizing relationships that are built on mutual respect, kindness, and encouragement, and recognizing when certain connections are not conducive to your growth. Focusing on those who lift you helps cultivate gratitude. When we're surrounded by positive influences, it's natural to feel more grateful for the people in our lives. Gratitude, in turn, boosts our happiness, strengthens our relationships, and enhances our overall quality of life. When we consciously choose to appreciate those who uplift us, we're more likely to cherish and nurture these relationships. This creates a cycle of positivity, where gratitude fuels connection, and connection fuels gratitude, leading to a more fulfilling and joyful life. In life, we form countless connections, and each one brings something unique to our journey. Some people come into our lives like a breath of fresh air, lifting us up and inspiring us to grow. Others may bring challenges, teaching us lessons through hardship. And while each connection can be meaningful, it's important to remember that not everyone is meant to stay. People enter our lives for different reasons, and not all are meant to be permanent. Recognizing this truth allows us to let go with grace when the time is right, to understand that the end of a connection does not diminish its value, and to make room for new, meaningful relationships. Life is fluid, constantly changing, and so are the people in it. Friendships, romances, and other relationships often reflect who we are at a particular moment. As we grow and change, some people naturally fall away, while others become closer. This is a natural process, but it can be painful if we cling to the idea that everyone we care about will always be a part of our lives. Embracing the idea that not everyone is meant to stay allows us to accept the impermanence of relationships and see each person's role in our journey without resentment or regret. Each person who enters our life is a part of our growth. Some people come to teach us something important, to show us a new perspective, or to challenge us in ways that ultimately help us become who we are meant to be. These connections may be brief, but they often leave a lasting impact. We may have a friend who inspires us during a specific phase, a mentor who helps us through a career change, or a partner who shows us what love or heartbreak really feels like. These people may not stay forever, but their influence shapes who we become. By understanding this, we can appreciate each relationship for what it brings, rather than feeling the loss when it ends. Letting go of the belief that everyone is meant to stay helps us release expectations. We often place unrealistic expectations on our relationships, hoping that certain people will always be there or that they'll fulfill specific roles in our lives. But people have their own journeys, their own dreams, and sometimes their path diverges from ours. When we cling to expectations, we set ourselves up for disappointment and even resentment. However, when we accept that people may come and go, we become more flexible, allowing relationships to evolve naturally. We can let go of the pressure to make everything last forever and instead focus on appreciating each connection for what it is in the moment.
Learning that not everyone is meant to stay also allows us to cultivate a sense of inner stability. If we rely too heavily on external relationships for our sense of self or happiness, we become vulnerable to loss and change. But when we realize that people may leave or that circumstances may shift, we're encouraged to build a strong foundation within ourselves. This inner stability gives us the resilience to navigate life's changes without losing our sense of purpose or worth. We begin to understand that while people can add richness and joy to our lives, our core strength comes from within. Moreover, this understanding can help us let go of relationships that are no longer healthy. Not everyone who enters our life has our best interests at heart, and some relationships may turn toxic over time. If we hold on to the belief that everyone is meant to stay, we might find ourselves holding on to connections that no longer serve us, simply out of loyalty or fear of being alone. Recognizing that it's okay for relationships to end allows us to assess our connections more honestly and to distance ourselves when necessary. It frees us from the guilt or shame of walking away and allows us to make choices that support our well-being. When we accept that not everyone is meant to stay, we also make space for new connections. Sometimes we're so focused on holding on to the past that we miss out on new opportunities and relationships. Life has a way of bringing people into our lives at the right time, often when we least expect it. By letting go of relationships that no longer align with us, we open ourselves up to new experiences and connections that may be exactly what we need at this point in our lives. This doesn't mean forgetting those who have come and gone, but rather honoring their place in our journey and making room for what comes next. Accepting that not everyone is meant to stay also helps us avoid the pain of clinging to relationships that have run their course. Often we try to hold on to people even when they're ready to leave or when circumstances have made it clear that it's time to part ways. This clinging can lead to heartache and resentment, not just for ourselves, but for the other person as well. Understanding that some relationships are seasonal allows us to release others with gratitude without feeling a sense of loss or inadequacy. It allows us to cherish the memories without feeling the need to prolong a connection that's no longer serving either person. Finally, embracing the impermanence of relationships teaches us to be present. When we know that people may not always be in our lives, we're encouraged to savor the moments we share with them. We listen more deeply, appreciate their unique qualities, and express our gratitude more freely. We stop taking relationships for granted, knowing that each one is a gift, however long it may last. This presence enriches our connections and helps us create meaningful memories, making the time we spend together all the more valuable. Not everyone is meant to stay, and that's okay. Some people are meant to cross our paths briefly, leaving us with memories, lessons, or even just a moment of shared laughter. Others may stay a bit longer, shaping our lives in ways that we may not fully understand until years later. And some are meant to be by our side for the long haul, weathering life's storms with us. Each relationship, whether fleeting or enduring, holds value. By letting go of the need for permanence, we free ourselves to embrace each connection as it comes, appreciating the journey rather than the destination. Life has a way of testing us. It throws unexpected challenges, moments of loss, and times of hardship that can leave us feeling stuck, disheartened, or even defeated. Yet one of the most essential qualities we can cultivate is the ability to keep moving forward. No matter how difficult things may seem, there is power and resilience in putting one foot in front of the other and choosing to rise above circumstances. Moving forward is not about ignoring pain or bypassing struggle. It's about acknowledging what we're going through and deciding that we won't let it hold us back. It's about resilience, courage, and the inner strength to keep pushing toward a better tomorrow. To keep moving forward requires a shift in perspective. When challenges arise, it's easy to become consumed by the present difficulty. Problems can feel like they're the only thing that matters, and the weight of them can be paralyzing. But moving forward means zooming out and seeing the bigger picture, understanding that whatever we're facing is only a chapter in our life story, not the whole narrative. This shift helps us remember that obstacles are temporary, and while they may be painful or exhausting, they don't define us. Life is a series of ebbs and flows, and just as challenges arise, so too will new opportunities and brighter days. One of the most important aspects of moving forward is cultivating a mindset of growth. When we face hardships, it's natural to focus on what we're losing or what's going wrong. But if we look closer, every challenge holds a lesson, every setback an opportunity to learn something about ourselves or the world around us. Keeping a growth mindset allows us to approach obstacles with curiosity rather than dread. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me, we begin to ask, what can I learn from this? By focusing on growth, we transform challenges from things that hinder us into tools that strengthen us. This perspective empowers us to move forward, knowing that even in difficult times, we are gaining something valuable. Moving forward also requires resilience, the inner strength to keep going even when the road is tough. Resilience doesn't mean never feeling pain, it means acknowledging the pain and still finding a way to press on. It's about being adaptable, about knowing that while we may not be able to control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. Resilience is a muscle that strengthens every time we face adversity. Each challenge we overcome makes us more equipped to handle the next one. In this way, resilience becomes our shield, protecting us from despair and giving us the energy to keep moving forward, no matter the circumstances. Often, keeping forward momentum requires us to let go of things that no longer serve us. This might mean releasing old grudges, outdated beliefs, or even people who are holding us back. Letting go is not always easy. You see, it's natural to feel attached to what's familiar, even if it's no longer beneficial. But to move forward, we must make space for the new. Holding on to the past can prevent us from stepping into our potential, from exploring new paths and opportunities. When we let go, we free ourselves to focus on what lies ahead. We unburden ourselves from the weight of things that no longer align with who we're becoming, allowing us to walk lighter and with more clarity. One of the most practical ways to keep moving forward is by setting small, achievable goals. When faced with a daunting situation, the thought of overcoming it in one step can feel overwhelming. But by breaking down the journey into smaller steps, we make the path forward more manageable. Small goals give us a sense of progress, even if the steps are modest. This steady progress builds momentum, and over time, those small steps accumulate into significant changes. Setting small goals helps us stay focused on the journey rather than getting lost in the enormity of the destination. It reminds us that even the longest journeys are completed one step at a time. Keeping a positive support system around us is also crucial for moving forward. When life gets tough, having people who believe in us, who offer encouragement and remind us of our strengths can make all the difference. These are the people who lift us up when we stumble, who offer perspective when we're feeling low, and who stand by us as we navigate life's challenges. They remind us of our worth and our potential, giving us the boost we need to keep pushing forward. In times of hardship, leaning on loved ones is not a sign of weakness, it's a source of strength. Their support reinforces our resilience, making the journey a little bit lighter and the burden easier to bear. Another key to moving forward is self-compassion. Too often, when we face setbacks, we become our own harshest critics, blaming ourselves for mistakes or feeling unworthy because of our struggles. But self-compassion is about treating ourselves with the same kindness we would extend to a friend. It's about recognizing that we're human and that we're doing the best we can. When we practice self-compassion, we give ourselves permission to stumble and to get back up again without judgment. This gentle approach helps us maintain forward momentum, knowing that we're allowed to make mistakes along the way. Self-compassion allows us to forgive ourselves and keep striving, even when the journey is difficult. Keeping a vision for the future is also essential for moving forward. Having a sense of purpose, a reason to keep going, can fuel our motivation when things get tough. This vision doesn't have to be grand or perfectly clear. It just has to give us something to aim for, a reminder that better days are ahead. When we hold on to a vision, we remind ourselves that the struggles of today are steps towards something meaningful. This sense of purpose gives us the resilience to weather the storms, the clarity to make tough decisions, and the hope that keeps us moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Moving forward means trusting the process. Life unfolds in its own time. And while we may wish for quick solutions or immediate relief, true growth takes time. Trusting the process means having faith that everything we're going through has a purpose, even if we can't see it yet. It's about believing that there is something to gain from every experience, that every step, no matter how painful, adds to the person we're becoming. This trust allows us to be patient with ourselves and with life, to keep moving forward without needing all the answers right away. In a world full of opinions, expectations, and judgments, it's easy to lose sight of the most powerful tool we have: our own voice. Our voice represents our inner truth, our unique perspectives, and the essence of who we are. Yet many people doubt their own voice, questioning if their ideas, dreams, or beliefs are worthy of being heard. They wonder if they should conform to what others expect, or if their thoughts and feelings carry enough weight. However, doubting your own voice can keep you from living an authentic life and reaching your full potential. Recognizing the value of your own voice is about understanding its power and the impact it can have not only on your life, but also on those around you. To understand the importance of never doubting your own voice, it's essential to see that every voice has its own unique purpose. No two people have had the exact same life experiences, the same thoughts, or the same insights. Your voice carries a distinct perspective that only you can offer to the world. When you allow yourself to be silenced, whether by fear of judgment or by the desire to fit in, you deny the world the gift of your perspective. Your insights and ideas may be exactly what someone else needs to hear, and by staying true to your voice, you contribute to a diverse range of viewpoints that enrich and broaden our understanding of the world. Doubting your own voice can stem from a fear of rejection or criticism. It's natural to worry about how others will perceive your words and ideas. We all want to be accepted, and putting ourselves out there can feel risky. But when we let fear control us, we sacrifice our authenticity. Over time, suppressing our voice can lead to a loss of self-confidence and a sense of disconnection from who we truly are. The reality is that criticism will come no matter what we do. But the more we embrace our voice, the less power that criticism has. When you are grounded in your truth, external opinions become less important, and you learn to trust yourself over the noise around you. Your voice is closely connected to your sense of self-worth. When you doubt your voice, you essentially doubt your own worth. You question if your ideas are good enough, if your thoughts are meaningful, or if your story matters, but self-worth doesn't come from external validation, it comes from within. By choosing to trust and express your voice, you affirm your value to yourself. You declare that your opinions and experiences have meaning and that you are worthy of being heard. This internal validation becomes a powerful source of confidence that radiates outward, helping you navigate life with a sense of purpose and resilience. Trusting your voice also enables you to live a life aligned with your values. When you're not afraid to speak up, you're able to stand by your beliefs, even when they're challenged. This is especially important in a world where it's easy to be swayed by popular opinion or to compromise your values for the sake of acceptance. By remaining true to your voice, you create a foundation of integrity that guides your actions and decisions. This sense of alignment brings a deep sense of peace because you know that you're living authentically, not bending or hiding parts of yourself to fit someone else's expectations. Furthermore, your voice has the power to inspire others. When you share your ideas, speak about your passions, or tell your story, you connect with others who resonate with what you have to say. Your courage to be yourself can encourage others to do the same. Many people feel alone in their struggles or beliefs, thinking that no one else understands. By voicing your truth, you remind them that they're not alone. You provide a sense of solidarity, and sometimes your words can be the spark that empowers others to find and trust their own voices. In this way, your voice doesn't just uplift you, it uplifts those around you. One of the most empowering aspects of embracing your voice is the sense of freedom it brings. When you no longer feel the need to silence yourself or conform to others' expectations, you experience a liberation that is rare and powerful. You're free to explore your passions, to speak your mind, and to pursue what truly matters to you. This freedom creates a life that is genuinely fulfilling, one that is filled with purpose and meaning. By releasing the fear of judgment, you allow yourself to fully express who you are, leading to a life that feels complete and authentic. Doubting your voice often leads to missed opportunities. How many dreams remain unfulfilled because people are afraid to speak up? How many innovations, ideas, or movements never come to life because someone thought their voice didn't matter? When you hold back, you not only deprive yourself of growth and achievement, but also limit the impact you could have on the world. History is filled with individuals who dared to speak out despite opposition or self-doubt. Their courage to use their voice shaped progress, inspired change, and paved the way for others. By trusting your own voice, you step into that same legacy of courage and impact. Trusting your voice doesn't mean that you'll always be right or that everyone will agree with you. It means that you're willing to show up as yourself, to share your thoughts, and to stand by what you believe. It means embracing the vulnerability that comes with being seen and heard, and understanding that mistakes are part of the process. You learn, you grow, and you adjust as needed, but you don't silence yourself out of fear. Instead, you continue to evolve, using your voice as a tool for growth and self-expression. Finally, honoring your voice is about reclaiming power over your own life. When you constantly look to others for validation, you give them control over your happiness, your decisions, and your sense of self. But when you trust your voice, you take that power back. You become the primary author of your story, making choices that reflect who you are rather than what others expect of you. This shift empowers you to create a life that is authentically yours, filled with decisions and experiences that reflect your true self. To never doubt your own voice is to embrace your individuality. It's a journey of self-discovery and self-acceptance, where you learn to honor your experiences, insights, and dreams. In a world that often tries to fit people into molds, trusting your voice is an act of defiance and courage. It's a commitment to live truthfully and to share your unique perspective with a world that may not always understand, but will ultimately be richer because of it. In the end, when someone ignores you or doubts you, when the road ahead feels uncertain, and when challenges arise, remember the strength within you. Life will test your resolve, but it's in those moments of doubt, rejection, and hardship that you find out what you're truly made of. Every obstacle is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. Every ending is a beginning, a new chapter inviting you to move forward, to value yourself more deeply, and to trust in the power of your own voice. So don't let anyone or anything dim your light. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who see your worth, and who encourage you to be the best version of yourself. Hold on to those who appreciate you and let go of those who don't. Life's too short to dwell on what doesn't serve you. Keep moving forward, confident in the knowledge that you are enough, that your voice matters, and that you have the power to shape your own destiny. Stand tall, stay true to yourself, and never, ever doubt your own potential. The world needs you exactly as you are.